Good morning, everyone. It's nice to have you here. I'm privileged to be the next presenter, talking about the social or the other face of TB, which in this case we refer to mainly the social impact of TB. It follows almost naturally from the economic discussion that has just been had, because the two really travel, or they go hand in hand and affect each other. So I am a research associate at the Land Institute, where I am also pursuing my PhD, although I am registered at the Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine. Just a simple roadmap for the presentation. There will be a brief introduction. We'll talk about the determinants of health generally, the structural determinants of health and of TB, and then we'll go into the social determinants of TB and the impact, or the social impact of TB, and then we'll conclude. In there somewhere, we might get to define what I think is the other face of TB, apart from the biomedical face that many of us know. So TB, just the global distribution of TB already points us and reflects us on the global disparities in its distribution. We see most of the lower and middle income countries have the highest burden of TB. And there is a very strong correlation between TB indicators, TB outcomes, and global poverty. So this is demonstrated both at an ecological, sort of macro level, but also at the individual level, where we see much of the morbidity and mortality in patients occurring among the poorest segments of the population. TB clusters among the poor, the hungry, and those from ethnic minorities, even in areas where the incidence is relatively low. This map is just really pointing to what I just said, the global incidence of TB that is concentrated in the low and middle income setting. In terms of determinants of health, they have been described as social, political, economic, and environmental conditions in which we are born, in which we live, in which we work, and in which we age. And they do have direct influence on our health. Talking about structural determinations, these are conditions that generate or reinforce the social divide that we see in society. They include socioeconomic inequalities globally, high levels of population mobility, rapid urbanization that even locally we see, and population growth. And these structural determinants are the ones that give rise to unequal distributions of some of the key social determinants of TB that we shall be looking at. Work by the WHO, the Commission on the Social Determinants of Health, showed how the circumstances in which we grow, we live and work, in which we age, and then the systems that are put in place to deal with illness, give rise to unequal, unfair distribution of population health. I mean, we are talking of access. How do people access health? What kind of access do they have? What kind of services do they have in terms of quality, accessibility, and availability? And so these have been widely studied. We know about the living conditions of patients that affect illness and TB. If we can focus on TB, we know about poor housing and their environmental conditions. There are psychosocial circumstances, stress, stigma, discrimination, risk factors that are more common in the group of patients, food security and malnutrition, and then access to health in terms of geographical barriers, but also the cultural barriers that the patients face. And these social determinants are key risk factors for TB. And to me, they also describe the non-biological or non-biomedical face of TB. So, in thinking about the face of TB, I felt, rather challenged. One, because a lot of the management of tuberculosis has been from the biomedical angle, and it's the health system face to TB. But the patients who face TB are the real true face of TB, the patients in front of you. It is that female patient in front of you who cannot go home and report about TB, or tell her husband that she has TB, or tell her family, simply because of the fear of the repercussions. In dealing with some of these patients around the clinics in Kampala and in talking to them, you hear things like this very, very common. So my sisters moved me to the small storeroom next to Rogers, threatening shadow. My sisters moved me to the small storeroom next to the toilet. They were sure I was going to die, but I did not die. At that time, I did not know much about TB, so I couldn't tell them anything. I left the home. I had to. A story from a 32-year-old lady, and not only did she know enough about TB to be able to negotiate her position in the home, the health system that she had, the health center she had gone to had not empowered her enough to do that. Or it is the patient who cannot tell the health worker about the struggle they are having with taking her medication, the pill burden, the side effects, because of just fear of reprisals. The nurse was so cruel. She talked rudely to all the patients she saw before me. When it was my turn to enter the room, I decided I would not tell her. I only imagined her reaction. A missed opportunity to interact with the health system in a better way. So the epidemiology of TB reflects how the social determinants are distributed and very clearly influence all the stages of TB pathogenesis. So you're talking of risk of exposure, susceptibility, and progression of disease. Time that patients take to access treatment or to get a diagnosis, treatment compliance, and even successful treatment. So poor and vulnerable groups are at a risk of TB infection due to overcrowding, poor ventilation, they suffer more from air pollution and other risk factors. And the immune system is very compromised. In TB patients who are malnourished, the poorest of the poor, there is no way the body can begin to even fight the disease. It takes longer due to financial burdens that have been described by the previous speaker. But even where you say treatment is free, he has described that treatment is actually not free for the patients. And all these things therefore determine how compliant a patient is going to be with treatment and how successful that treatment will eventually be. So in describing the social aspects of TB, you quickly realize that it very strongly affects very personally those things that make us human. It affects people's social and psychosocial well-being. It robs patients of their social standing, economic footing in life. It reduces the health-related quality of life and makes many feel lonely, isolated, and afraid. And therefore, it infringes on patients' human rights. There's little progress, for example, say, in the scientific discoveries that are being made globally. I know there's now a concerted effort and it's commendable, but if you compare to what was done and the reaction when the HIV/AIDS epidemic began, then you can see why you might think that there are human rights aspects that can be addressed by addressing TB. The WHO therefore recognized the links between health, human rights, and poverty reduction strategies. Sorry. the links between health, human rights, and poverty reduction strategies, and their ability to provide a platform from which we can then act on the social determinants of health. So, looking at the social impact of TB, the previous speaker has so aptly described the cyclic relationship between poverty and TB. It's a social determinant and can also contribute and push patients further into poverty. It reduces their physical strength, causes financial burden, and studies have reported very vastly loss of income, including the one he has just reported on, but also children ending up in labor in order to support parents who are sick. And most affected are men at the prime of their lives, and they lose a lot of jobs and income. TB marginalizes people. People experience social isolation, psychosocial stress, and when you're discussing this, you cannot fail to point to multi-drug resistant TB, which goes even further in terms of stigma, discrimination, delayed diagnosis, and things like that. It marginalizes people. Women especially face TB a little differently than men. Women actually look after men when the men fall ill. It happens rarely, the other way around. So women are faced with divorce and hiding, and therefore it affects them more adversely. So, the stigma of disease and the resultant discrimination impacts TB control programs. How? Because a patient who is afraid of being identified as sick is likely to delay proper health seeking. Like I said, TB and gender is another social impact because women are affected differently due to their position in life. And this is reflected even in the health system, where healthcare workers frequently share their beliefs about gender and risks. And doctors have been observed to be less observant about women's symptoms. So women end up going to the traditional health informal system more than the men. Within the health system, we have heard from both health workers and patients about the fears that drive stigma and discrimination, and mainly it is the fear of infection that drives the stigma that we experience in the health system. So, in conclusion, TB is a global public health problem with high rates of mortality and morbidity, and we see decreasing incident rates. They are falling, but not fast enough. However, TB has been known to be an excellent example of a social disease, a control of which therefore requires social, economic, and environmental and political interventions. So in addition to all the things we know that work, prompt treatment, early diagnosis, identification of risk, we need to add and address selected social factors that exist in the daily living conditions of TB patients and their communities. Social protection, as we talked about, reduction of stigma, providing incentives, and above all, patient-centered interventions that take into account the context in which the TB patients work. Social medicine has often been reduced to actions to identify just risk groups, but we are calling for a more integrated social discourse, social medicine discourse, that can help us to confront the challenge of understanding the new global order of TB. And tackling social determinants of TB to mitigate social impact of TB through social protection is a key element of the post-2015 NTB strategy that called for bold and concerted efforts to end TB. Thank you.